Well, hello there. It's been a while. It's Baby Aga, or should I say, Baby Blue Bookworm? I don't know. I said I would take a break from working on like my book blog, or go on hiatus from like creating content, both from my blog site and my YouTube channel. But you know what? Temptation can be quite a bitch. So here I am, and I guess this blog post will also be like shorter than my usual book reviews since it's also kind of like an update post, but I'll also be posting like an update blog later on to my main YouTube channel or whatever this is that's going on. As you can tell, I'm in my PJs right now because I am very lazy to like actually dress decently. Then again, it's like evening. I should be sleeping soon. I am running on like 5 if not 6 hours of sleep. So here, why don't we get started on what the heck has been going on in my life in the past month or so? It was rough, I'll tell you that. I went to a rough breakup. Don't worry, we're still friends, we're okay. Academic work piled up. I also just beat COVID, or at least it was probably what my lungs were telling me after days of like wheezing, coughing, and once again the feeling of dying. I actually fought COVID for the first time in 2022 before we moved houses. It was why my first anniversary blog for the book blog. I had to publish it at home while cooped up in my room for days on end with the company of a stuffed cat, this one, my laptop, you can see right over here, and my notebook for like school, because even in online classes like a traditional student, I would still take down notes through my notebook, and also because I have way too many notebooks, so like I don't want to waste them. But I'll tell you, being sick is no fun. Then again, who enjoys being sick? Like seriously, unless that's your excuse to miss school, I guess I won't judge you. 2 weeks ago, I was absent for 2 days from school, and I'd say I only missed my dance classes because my other classes were either online due to the extreme heat index, and some were cancelled, and last May 1st, it was a holiday. When I was cooped up again in bed for the whole week, I had the company of my stuffed cat, my laptop, and a sweet and lovely guy named Jerome. Hello, you. Via text, he's my classmate from school. And of course, a book! Clowning on myself means that I said I would stop reading a while again to focus on like my academic work. But my intrusive thoughts won, and lo and behold, I went book shopping again. It all started last April 28th. I watched a play in school with Jerome, and while waiting for him to arrive, there was this book stand outside of the theater. Naturally, my first instinct was to visit the stand and see what books were being put up or offered. And since my super cool and super nice dad, please don't ground me if you're reading or watching this, Papa, gave me money, well, I scored 3 new reads. Well, they're not really new since it was a secondhand book stand, but who cares? I was eager to give these reads like new homes in my overflowing bookshelves, as you can see in the back. After the play, which was fun to watch, honestly, best theater experience ever. Thank you, Jerome. I went back to the book stand while Jerome turned around for like 5 minutes to get some souvenirs from the play we watched, and I scored another book. So I got a total of 4. Sorry, Jerome, I know you tried to stop me, but intrusive thoughts won again. So one of these books happened to be The Thousand Autumns of Jacob de... oh gosh, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Zoet by David Mitchell, which I read during the time I was sick. I will be massacring a lot of names about the book, so I apologize in advance. The characters kept me company, especially our protagonist himself, Jacob de Zoet. I'll just say Zoet. And again, I might be butchering his name. Orito Aibagawa, his love interest. I wouldn't say this book was a love story. It was not. It was rather an adventure and a tale of the traveler seeking greener pastures in 1800s Japan in an effort to return home with financial gain to marry his fiancée Anna. The novel also explores the relationship between the Dutch East Indies and Company and Japan in the 18th century, which was a time when Japan was avoiding the outside influence. A Dutch clerk named Jacob de Zoet enters the island of Dejima, where he meets Orito, a midwife who is to serve a powerful magistrate, but later she's kidnapped, so like, the poor lass. I swear, this book is wild. With only a limited place to be in Dejima, the Dutch or any outsiders are forbidden to enter the mainlands of Japan, and they're forbidden as well to learn or speak Japanese, and Christianity is basically banned. So the Zoet's new job upon his arrival was to originally audit books and deal with like corruption, which the latter pretty much sucked for this guy because you can trust anyone these days. Like, am I right, lads? Or am I right, lads? And the thing is, Jacob is smart but naive. He cleverly outwits some cheating clerks, catches a Japanese interpreter mistranslating on purpose to steal, makes friends with the honest but also cranky Dr. Marinus. At the same time, though, Jacob doesn't realize his seemingly honest boss, I'm butchering this name, worse than Bosch, I guess, the man who hired Jacob to clean up the corruption, is actually the most corrupt of all. This one's from like SuperSummary, so yeah. And because poor Jacob was gaslit into signing falsified documents, which he didn't do anyway, he was imprisoned on the island for years, and he was unable to head home due to the ship on board the Netherlands from Dejima was like, he missed it. So this was where he met Orito, and he fell in love with her. She also happens to be Dr. Marinus' student, and the temptation brings them closer together. But I guess she had high standards, so she's at least welcoming of all the presents he sent her, and their bond was actually quite wholesome despite their language barriers. She keeps him company during the period of his banishment, but later Orito learns that she was sold to various like devious organizations like that of slavery, then nunnery, and then both. Thanks to her wicked stepmother. So does it make Jacob her prince, and where's her pumpkin carriage, right? So this random plot twist turns the story from like a wholesome-ish tale of a traveler and his lover into, I am not kidding, a supernatural thriller. Thanks to the nunnery including elements of religion and other darker themes such as the aforementioned slavery and pretty much what runs within cults. The nuns are and they would give birth to the babies. Then the nuns were led to believe that these babies would be given away to families in a village nearby, and then the nuns would supposedly reunite with these kids many years later. Though through Orito's investigation, because she's my favorite girl boss throughout the story, she learns that these babies were actually killed and their blood was drained to feed an actual vampire named Enomoto. And I thought dreaming about fighting a human-sized owl while I was sick was enough of a fever dream. I wasn't kidding. I lost to the owl, by the way. As Orito plans her escape, she instead decides to stay and first guide a pregnant nun since she's a midwife, of course. Meanwhile, we learn that, again, I'm sorry for butchering this name, Uzaemon, one of the interpreters on Dejima, is also in love with Orito. His family forced him to give her up after her father's business failure. By accident, he comes across a scroll that outlines the practices of Inomoto's monastery. Horrified by Orito's fate, Uzaemon leaves the scroll with Jacob, gets the help of a sensei, and fights his way into the monastery fortress to confront the vampire. I'm telling you, I did not think this would become a fantastical novel. Again, some of these parts of the summaries also from SuperSummaries. My beloved, it's just so weird. It's like an actual fever dream. And speaking of fantastical BS, we return to the sea shanty seafarer adventure of Jacob and company. And then there's also like this guy called Captain Penhaligon, I think that's how you pronounce his name, who tries to take the Dejima by force, bombastic side-eye the island from the ship. Jacob leads the Dutch resistance, which prevails, but only because his red hair, for some reason, makes the captain think of his own red-headed son who died in a different battle. So it's probably a reincarnation. But as somebody who dated a red-haired man before, yeah, that makes sense, the resistance. However, the city of Nagasaki is unprotected from all these attacks, and the city's delusional magistrate ritual fails. Then again, who plays poker with a vampire? I'm not complaining, but I knew I picked up the right kind of weird book. And the magistrate and the vampire's dumbasses drink poisonous sake, and they die. The novel now switches genres one last time, and we learn that this conclusion to the wild life of Jacob de Zoet, where he marries another Japanese woman who isn't Orito and has a son. After 17 years on the island, he must go back to the Netherlands and is forced to leave his son behind because of Japanese law. Back in Holland, Jacob remarries and has another son who eventually inherits his father's smuggled Bible. So this was like very messed up for me for some reason, because I ended up with other women. Like, okay, this guy got bitches but wasn't either of his original love interests. I was actually thinking that maybe he would go back to Anna, his fiance, or since he had a good bond as well with Orito, he would probably like choose to start over and live a life with her. But no! Anyways, knowing they never ended up together anyway was just a disappointment. Then again, this is my first time reading a book from an author I've never heard of before, so I'm not one to judge Mr. Mitchell's writing style. It was an enjoyable and crazy, in a good way, story. I just feel bad for the son he had to leave behind. I may not be a parent yet, but it does pain me alone to find out about a child having to be separated from their parent. I mean, I'm sure my cat feels the same way. I mean, she never met her mother and was instantly put up for adoption as a kitten, so is that a good analogy? I don't know. I think I chose the right novel for sure to read during my time of illness and recovery. It's a fun and wild adventure to dive myself into while I was stuck at home. And when I say reading takes you places, it does, at least according to the wild life Jacob actually lived. Bro did not live 1,000 autumns. Bro lived 1,000 genres and fever dreams, and I'm not complaining. I don't regret picking up this book from the little book stand Jiren and I stopped by at, and I'm happy to have given Jacob de Zoet and his 1,000 autumns a new home. As somebody who literally switches genres and experiments with reading new kinds of stories, I'd say this book and I made quite a good match. I'm sorry, Jiro. So with that, I think you better look out for new content soon. Not just for my book blog, but also on my YouTube channel as well. Beating COVID again definitely made me want to come back to this world and do better. You're reading this from the perspective from the new and improved Baby Yaga, or should I say Mara? That's the name I go by in my university, by the way. And with the recent unfortunate and fortunate events, I guess I might as well rebrand, because what the heck? 1,000 autumns went through like 1,000 genre hopping and weird fever dream-esque moments. So should I, and upon finishing writing this post, I feel radioactive. I'm waking up, I feel it in my bones, enough to make my system glow. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Welcome to the new age, to the new age. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh. I'm radioactive, radioactive. Oh, oh, whoa, oh. I'm radioactive, radioactive. I apologize for singing. But now that I'm back, I'm better than ever. Maybe being exiled in an island is nothing compared to simply quarantining in a room for days. But I guess with a week of rest and trying to relax, it really does something to our sick, twisted minds. Maybe in the future, we could fight off a vampire and stop an apocalypse. What do you guys think? So credits to the summaries go to GradeSaver and SuperSummary. Thanks for your help as always, and I hope you guys enjoyed this silly little, book review and update vlog. Rest assured, I will be uploading stuff to my channel soon, and I've got a ton of ideas for what kind of possible content I could create. Anyways, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video, the next vlog. Be sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and share it with your friends, share it with anybody who's interested in books or wants to go on like a fever dream adventure like Jacob de Zoet. Anyways, yeah. I guess I'll see you guys in the next vlog. Bye bye. I don't even know what I'm doing with my life. I look so tired. Look at these eye bags. They're like deeper than like the ocean or something. I'm just being dramatic. Yeah. Random room tour, I guess. Random room tour. I know you guys have seen this like several times, but I really like my room. My bookshelves are overflowing. I need a new one. Dad, if you're watching this, please build me a new bookshelf. Like, it's put by the door of the bathroom since I don't use that bathroom much. Give me a new bookshelf, Dad, please.